Hello there, everyone. It is after 8 o'clock here in New York. I am exactly starting this recording at 8:05 p.m. on Friday, September 14th, 2018. I did promise I would do coverage of Hurricane Florence. I did going to keep that promise, and now I'm going to be, of course, providing coverage to all of you today. So that's the main priority of today, was to do this. And even though it's the evening hours, we have a very bad potential situation coming to South Carolina tomorrow, particularly pretty much all day tomorrow. South Carolina is going to see some devastating weather. Could even go into Sunday, possibly even into Monday. So we're of course going to look at some different radar models. Here's of course one of the National Weather Service's radars right here. As you're seeing, it is pretty much churning out Hurricane Florence. The heavy rain bands, as expected, we're going to hit the Cape. Looks like they are. The worst of the rain is in Wilmington, and pretty much today it's just been a devastating situation along the Carolina coast. And because of this storm, you are seeing some of the rain bands go into all of North Carolina, into all of South Carolina, and some bands are even trying to get into Georgia. But I'm going to tell you right now, even Hampton Roads is seeing some rain from this storm, and we'll take a look at it from other models. And as you're seeing here, models on the radars, they always agree or disagree, and this is of course all of the heavy rain just going into North Carolina, and looking at it from a space image, and you can tell that this is an ginormous storm right here that is just devastating the Carolinas. Here is the rain coming up on the radar. It's different from, of course, the radar image. As you're clearly seeing right now, all of the heavy rain looks like is, if I'm trying to get this correct, it looks like it says Jackson, North Carolina, and Keensville seeing some heavy bands a little bit. Clinton seeing some bands as well. And there are some bands trying to make it into Greensboro, as far as south, even into, let's say, Winston-Salem. But pretty much today, it's been devastation, chaos, and I did see it on the news, and we're going to get to a news article about this storm at the very end of this video. So I'm going to show you all this important PowerPoint presentation Wilmington issued earlier this morning at pretty much 6 a.m. And you look at it, Horry County, where Myrtle Beach is, they're under the hurricane warning still. So Horry County is not out of the woods yet. And as I mentioned before, this is still going to impact South Carolina into tonight. The winds are expected to get worse. The rain bands are expected to get worse in Horry County, and as I mentioned, Myrtle Beach is in Horry County. So that's what we have to focus on tonight. So here's the situation we have right now. Life-threatening storm surge at this moment, and as I'm speaking right now at 8 o'clock Eastern, is occurring along portions of the North Carolina coast and will continue until tonight, and even going into tomorrow, will affect the South Carolina coast. North Carolina will still see some of the effects, but South Carolina will now be the main focus. The greatest storm surge, and again, we expected this today, did happen between the Capes, Cape Fear and Cape Hatteras. there has been reports of life-threatening catastrophic flash floods that have damaged many properties along the North Carolina eastern coast. This prolonged flood event is expected to go until the end of the weekend. Damaging hurricane-force winds are occurring along portions of the North Carolina coast at this moment, and of course, going into tonight and going into high tide in the wee hours of the morning. It's still going to make a very devastating cause and effect along the eastern shore of Horry County, South Carolina. Strong winds could also spread into inland portions of the Carolinas, pretty much going into Sunday and possibly even into Monday. Do not venture outdoors when the eye moves overhead. You may get caught outside when the strong winds do return. So again, if your local officials are telling you to stay put, because they are looking out for your safety. Okay, so wind, storm surge, flooding, isolated tornadoes. But once again, the winds are expected to get worse into South Carolina, and the rain is expected to go into South Carolina tonight. Storm surge area. This is what we need to be concerned about tonight into tomorrow. We have a situation here where Cape Fear to Cape Lookout, 7 to 11 foot storm surge. And I don't have anything about Myrtle Beach, which is concerning. So I'm going to go down here. Now, this is what I'm also worried about. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. They are expecting to see 20.55 inches of rain. And the tornado threat, once again, the best chance is definitely in North Carolina still. And multiple power outages are being reported from their main power grid. And I'm going to recommend, if you're looking for that information, to please go to Pine Power LI if he does do an update tonight, hopefully. Because he told me last night after, I did my primary coverage, that he was going to monitor this nonstop. Like, he was going to watch it and update you all in the Carolinas regarding this situation. And there is the cone. Of course, we got that. Do not use after 2 p.m. But I'm using it now just to give you all an idea. But we do have a advisory that was issued at 5 o'clock. Yeah, later tonight, North Carolina coast will see storm surge. But pretty much, again, this is going into early next week. So they updated the rain bands. Looks like Myrtle Beach could possibly only see about 10 to 15 inches now. So that was from earlier today, so they shrunk it a little bit. So I'm trying to get you all the cone again. Let's get the cone. There we go. Here's the concern. Tuesday, remnants of this storm are expected to hit the New York area. So we have to keep an eye on that. So I may have to do a weather update on Monday here in New York to give you all an update on what Florence could do in the New York area. Try to get some observations. Wilmington, they don't have any information that much, but I can get you some info from Wilmington. And I can tell you today, they've had gusts reported near, earlier today, this was like 7 o'clock in the morning. They had a wind gust near 87 miles an hour. So pretty much that's category 1 type wind. Wind tried picking up yesterday. So I can't get you any much information other than this reading from 7 o'clock in the morning from Wilmington Airport. So I'm trying to get you now information from Myrtle Beach. See if they can get me any information over there. Go down. Yeah, so far today there have only been tropical storm force winds along the Grand Strand today. But once again, the winds are expected to pick up tonight. So now we'll take a look at the GFS model, and then we will go to the final portion of this video, which is reading the ABC News article I got from the storm. So once again, here is Florence. Florence is going into South Carolina, and there it goes into Monday. Let's see where it is on Monday. Sunday night it goes into western North Carolina. So Charlotte would still see some rain from this. And then this is what I'm concerned about. Moisture from this storm would impact the New York area on Tuesday, going even into Wednesday. So I would have to keep an eye on that, everyone, and see what the NAM and GFS would say a day before what we're going to be getting, because last week we got the remnants of Gordon here in the New York area. Let's just see what the NAM is saying. Go with the 12 kilometer. See what the NAM is going to say for this. And this is way too back. I apologize, everyone. Thankfully, my internet is cooperating today and figured out what's been going on with it. And there we go. Wind it back. So here we go. There is Florence. And the crazy thing is the NAM is starting to agree, is disagreeing that it's going to go out. Like, it's just going to fade itself out. We're going to have to take a look at the 12C model, see what the 12C is saying. Yeah, 12C is agreeing too on the NAM. I think the last thing we will check is the NavGem, see what the NavGem is saying on the 18C model. Alright, where does this NavGem have it going out to? Alright, remnants would hit New York. So, models are disagreeing. Let's see what the Canadian is saying. Here's the Canadian. Right, so the Canadian is agreeing that it's going into South Carolina, and then some of the remnants go into New York on Tuesday. So the Canadian doesn't have it that bad, but remember, GFS is an advanced radar. So lastly, we'll take a look at the Euro model. Let's see what the Euro is saying about this. So here's the Euro. And yes, the Euro is agreeing with the GFS as well, that it's going to hit South Carolina. And then the cause of concern would be the remnants coming into New York. So once again, I'm going to have to update you all on Monday, because I think the priority would be to do that on Monday for you all. And yeah, that's going to be it for models and all the fancy stuff. So now we're going to read the headlines from this storm. So this is from ABC News, and I'll read it. The storm right now, Florence, is slamming into the East Coast, knocking out power in North Carolina, dropping torrential rains in the... I can't read this word. I apologize, everyone. Inundating several areas with floodwater. There is 5 numbers to take a look at from this article. Alright, right now we have 5 deaths reported from this storm. The first death attributed to Florence was in coastal Pender County, North Carolina, and officials there called it a storm-related medical fatality, but did not elaborate. I can confirm one of the fatalities was a woman had a heart attack, and the EMS couldn't get to her. There's down trees in the area, so yeah, that's 800,000 people are without power. So police in Wilmington later disclosed that a mother and an infant were killed when a tree fell on their home. The husband was transported to a local hospital with injuries. North Carolina Democratic Governor Roy Cooper said one person died in Lenoir County while plugging in a generator. 78-year-old male in Kingston who was electrocuted. He was trying to connect 2 extension cords outside in the rain. Also, another elderly citizen, 77-year-old man, died. He was blown down when he went outside to check on his hunting dogs. Alright, so here's a strategic thing. Wilmington saw 105-mile-an-hour wind gust. I can get you some pictures, believe it or not, from ABC News, and I'll show them at the end. 150 people, the number of people who need to be rescued in flooded New Bern. Water levels reached 10 feet overnight. The downtown area at the confluence of 2 rivers is mostly underwater. Volunteers using private boats to pitch in and help. Not going to read that much. Union Point Park flooded. Another picture of Union Point Park. So this is pretty much twice the size of what Hurricane Hugo was 30 years ago back in 1989. Governor Roy Cooper said 100 people have been rescued from New Bern. 30 inches of rain in Atlantic Beach. Wow. Alright, so this is from 2 hours ago, this article. And here are the statewide numbers. In North Carolina, 726,500 people are without power in North Carolina. In South Carolina, 74,040 customers are without power in South Carolina. Number of collisions overnight at 30 as road conditions deteriorated, according to North Carolina State Highway Patrol. 1 million people evacuated their properties in North Carolina. 20,000 people in 6 states, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Georgia, Maryland, and Tennessee, took shelter in 206 Red Cross and community shelters back on Thursday. 11 feet. Storm surge may have reached up to parts of North Carolina. And again, this is very scary to take a look at this picture from space, and I am just stunned how it's just amazing to look at this. And knowing how big this storm is, the cloud cover has gone into Delmarva. So I think now we'll try to get the slideshow presentation of the pictures. Hopefully they will load. There's about 21 pictures. So this is at a bar in Wilmington. People trying to ride it out with no power. Brewing company in Wilmington. Their roof got ripped off. Debris from Florence covers the street in downtown New Bern. Rescue workers attempting to remove a giant tree that tapped onto a house when Hurricane Florence came ashore in Wilmington. And of course, I mentioned the mother and the infant killed. Here is what I need to talk about here in New York. Rescue workers from New York rescuing a man from flooding in Riverbend. So again, to all our police officers and firefighters EMS who were sent down from here in New York City. Everybody here is keeping you guys in our thoughts and prayers, and as you guys are rescuing people down there in the Carolina coast. I know back on Tuesday they had a press conference about sending these brave men and women down there, and they have a job to do, and all the extra help down there is needed. Alright, members of a FEMA Urban Search and Rescue Task Force from Oakland, California, searching a flooded neighborhood for evacuees during Florence. So as far west as Oakland, California, they're being sent in. Alright, here's another rescue. Oh, look how cute that dog looks. He's so shivered. 7-year-old escaped a flooded home in James City. Another picture of the 7-year-old. Alright, we got something very scary along the beach. Waves slamming the Oceana Pier and Pier House Restaurant in Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. We have portions of a boat dock and boardwalk that were destroyed in Atlantic Beach. And again, I'm very worried it's going to happen in Myrtle Beach later tonight into tomorrow. I'm going to look at that picture. Yeah, here's everybody that was trying to evacuate on Tuesday. And again, all the shelves emptied. Myrtle Beach. Beach house in North Carolina being boarded up with sandbags. That's what it looked like from space back on Wednesday. And that's pretty much it. That is going to wrap up the coverage for tonight regarding Hurricane Florence. If I have an update, I'll try to do it tomorrow. I'm only pre-recording this tonight because I had time to, edit it and get it up to you guys. So, thank you all for watching. And once again, if you are looking for more in-depth coverage, Pine Power LI, my fellow YouTuber, will be covering this as well. So you can check his channel out. So, till the next video, everyone, please take care.